Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas for the Boxing Channel here with Gary Russell Jr., who takes on Vasyl Lomachenko this weekend. And a fight, by all accounts, to many fans, is the most interesting fight on this card. Would you agree with that statement?
I can agree with it for, multiple reasons. We both have a tremendous amateur, pedigree and background. We both were Olympians and etc., and for us, the Olympians, to meet up in the professionals, and not only just to meet in the professionals, but to be able to compete for a world title, it means a lot. So I definitely agree.
The guy is 1-1. Last fight was against Toledo. It was a world title match. I've read in interviews that you didn't really agree with him getting a title shot, but with the guys that he's fought, do you feel that someone like him should be even in the ring with you at this point?
The reason why I didn't agree with it because I didn't like the fact that he was able to get a world title within, 2 fights. It's been guys out here that's, professional athletes out here that's been very strategic about selecting their opponents so they can have the opportunity to compete for a world title. And I think it's clear to show that politics plays a factor to jump this guy completely in front of all the other, little people that's been trying to compete for a world title. But at this point, it doesn't even matter to me. It doesn't matter who I'm in the ring with. We're 100% prepared and ready. It's another stepping stone.
If the roles were reversed and Golden Boy would have put you in a world title fight in your second fight, do you think you would have done it as well as he's done? And just overall, what would happen? I guess, would you be happy with that?
Honestly, I wouldn't be happy with it because like I say, even though you have a great amateur pedigree and amateur background, you can't take away from the fact that professional boxing and amateur boxing is night and day. You got to get the experience in. You got to get the rounds in order to get the experience in. I think it's a bad career move, to jump a talented amateur out here like that. He already suffered 1 loss, and then to put him right back in the ring again, because he's definitely going to take another loss. And now you have 2 losses in a row with a very talented amateur fighter when you could have molded this guy and made him a great professional fighter, with a little bit of time. Let him get the experience and let him get the rounds in, etc. But that's no here and there. I'm just focused on getting through this fight and getting this W.
To fans, when they mention your name, when you talk to them, they say, Gary Russell Jr., great prospect, possibly the fastest hands in combat sports, both MMA and boxing, but he hasn't fought the top guys yet. And those same fans will say, well, Lomachenko out the bat fought guys that already experience-wise on a different level than Gary. Would you agree with those fans?
To a certain extent, maybe. To a certain extent, but you can't, like I said, you can't take away from the fact that the experience, that I'm getting in as a professional. And as you can see, when you made those dramatic jumps, he took a loss in his second fight. And this is stuff that happens. He should never have lost to Toledo. He's a better skilled fighter, and I think he's honestly more talented than Toledo. He brings more into the sport, more into the game as a professional fighter than Toledo does. But just with him, jumping out there, not getting experience, and maybe if he'd have fought a couple more fights against some guys that had a similar experience, he would have known how to make the necessary adjustments and etc. So those are some of the things that you got to look for.
If you win this fight and you win this title, do you think it makes up for the Olympic experience that you didn't really get to fulfill?
Most definitely, and it's even more better that I'm competing against this guy who is an Olympic gold medalist. So you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
It's not only a title fight, but it's like an Olympic final then.
Exactly. So I'm pleased with it.
Gary, can't wait. Like I said, I know fans are looking forward to this fight. 2 undefeated fighters this weekend on Showtime. Gary Russell Jr., Vasyl Lomachenko for a world title. Don't miss it. It's going to be great. Happens at the Stub Hub Center.